Yes, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yes. Can you tell us your story and a little bit about yourself?
Wait, let me tell one more thing about Lily Ann. 16 or 17 years ago, Lily Ann and her husband Miguel came to America from Venezuela and basically started their lives over. And nobody works harder at this than Lily Ann and Miguel. So we met Lily Ann almost 5 years ago through this business. And thank God for her mother's foresight, because that's where it came from. I hate to steal your thunder, but go ahead.
Well, thank you, Bonnie. Thanks for your kind words. Yes, it's going to be 5 years on June 20th. And, well, no, sorry, a little later, July. But June 20th, my husband was diagnosed with a very rare autoimmune disorder called Guillain-Barré syndrome. And it came quite as a surprise, because we have always tried to be healthy and eat organic and cook at home, and we don't drink or smoke, so we thought we were doing the right thing. But life sometimes has different plans for you. So Guillain-Barré has a very sudden onset. So in 48 hours, Miguel went from being a normal person just going to work to not being able to open the cap of a water bottle. What happens with Guillain-Barré is that they think it's a virus that attacks the lining of all the peripheral nerves. And because there's no nerve connections, then the muscles can't move. So it's not that you're paralyzed, let's say, stiff, but there's no strength. So Miguel couldn't walk. He was bedridden. He could use his arm. He could feed himself, but that was it. He could not get out of bed. He could not even turn from one side to the other in bed. He could not walk. And we spent about 8 days in the hospital. The issue with Guillain-Barré is there's no cure, because the damage, when they diagnose you, the damage has already happened. So the myelin sheath that covers all the nerves has been destroyed. And when I asked the neurologist, he said, well, yeah, it'll recover, but it will be a very, very slow recovery. All you can do is go home and rehab. It will probably be 2 years before he can walk again. And that, needless to say, was a very devastating blow, both emotionally, financially, physically. I became caregiver 24/7, and our life just changed in a matter of hours. So hindsight is 2020. For those of you on the call that may be thinking, should I do this business or not? Let me tell you that if I had been able to build something like this before this happened, and it could be a car accident, it could be, we've had friends that have fallen off a ladder cleaning their roof, just things happen, and just being able to have a residual income that can help you, that you cannot show up for work even for a couple of months. Needless to say, for us it was 2 years. So I got a call, and this is where I think a lot of you have been introduced to this amazing NRF2 activation in just like at the right moment. And for us, it was a call from a good friend, Judith Simonson, who is an equine vet. And she actually was calling me because she thought I would be interested for the dogs, because like Bonnie said, I have a dog training business. And unbeknownst to her, that was the day that Miguel had been diagnosed. And I was a little like too shattered and upset, and she asked me to watch the ABC report, and I was like, oh, Julia, we have to go to the hospital again tomorrow. I don't know what's going on. I'm really feeling very anxious, like this is something really serious. And I heard this voice say, you have to watch the video. And I did. I have a 4-year degree in biology, so I am the person that everybody wants. I watched that video, and my jaw dropped to the ground. I said, if this does half of what it does, I want it for everyone in my family. Of course, at that point, the business was not my interest. It was just I wanted the product to help Miguel because all the neurologist was offering is go home and rehab for 2 years and maybe you can start walking again. So we have a pool at home, so Miguel was very tenacious about rehabbing every day and doing exercise, but we have talked to a lot of people and a lot of therapists, and they were quite surprised at how fast Miguel improved. And nobody thought that was normal, and although we cannot say that Protandim, it's not intended to cure, mitigate, treat any disease, but other than a healthy diet and some vitamin B injections and the therapy, there was nothing else that anybody could offer. So we initially were giving him 2 a day, 1 in the morning and 1 at night. And that's pretty much all we did. Rehab and NRF2 activation. At that point, we only had NRF2. And about 6 to 7 months, Miguel was able to start walking with a walker. And it kind of just got a little better, every week, and he started driving again and being able to go back to work part-time. And he's still not 100%. It's still hard for him to sit down and pick up things. He needs a handrail to be able to go up steps. But, from being bedridden and then in a wheelchair to being able to be independent, we're just so grateful that we were introduced to this. And then at that point, I just decided to start looking at the business opportunity because, with Guillain-Barré, the stats are that 85% of people will recover 100%, but we have known of people 6 years out and they're still walking with pain. So there's no assurances. It affects people differently. They're slightly different. Some people get more affected in it could even affect your respiratory, and people have to be put on a ventilator, be in the ICU unit. Some people just are weak for a few months and they recover. So it's really weird. But Miguel was totally disabled, just bedridden. He could not do anything for himself. So can I say that it was this? I can't, but I'm just super happy and grateful that I got that call from Julia and that we jumped in. Thanks to my mom, she there was going to be a presentation by the late Dr. Dyer here in Ocala. And I sent my mom, and she came back with a distributor pack with a bunch of Protandim for all of us to take. And at that point, they only had the anti-aging cream, Protandim, and the Protandim that at that point was called Canine Health. And I had a 13-year-old dog that was very arthritic. She would only sleep through the day. We had to wake her up to get her out and to get her to eat. And we saw amazing changes with her. There's no placebo effect in dogs. When they feel great, they feel great. So this dog started raiding the kitchen counter and barking when cars came in. And it was like a regression. She started acting like she was 8 again. She lived another 2 years to be past 15. She was a Labrador. And she really had a great life, right to the end, and that I totally attribute to the Canine Health and now the Protandim, because that's the only thing that I had added to her diet, and it was a dramatic change. So that was our first, oh my God, maybe this thing does work. And from then on, I recommended it to so many people with really incredible benefits. So that's my story.
And that's a good one, Lilian. Really, really appreciate you sharing it tonight.